So this is the time of the evening where I stall a little bit as we get the judges prepared so they can come in here and listen to your excellent pitches. Before that, I've got a few announcements here and there to make. But first of all, I mean, number one, I want to thank you all. Did you die? I want to thank you all, the participants who really made this weekend what it is. How about the first of many rounds of applause for all the participants we had this weekend, Startup Weekend. You know, when you throw together one of these events, you're never quite sure what's going to happen, especially when it's the first one in a city. And we've heard that from the Startup Weekend folks before. We had a great experience when we did this up in Santa Fe, and we weren't quite sure what we'd get when we did this in Albuquerque. And really, we have been astonished and really just amazed by the level of quality and the way that teams really pulled together. It's really kind of unique. From the ones that I've seen and from hearing from some other people who've been at other Startup Weekends. So we really appreciate the way that you've worked together, and I think it bodes well for the future of entrepreneurship and startup activity in Albuquerque and New Mexico as a whole. My name is Lorenz. I am the Executive Director of the New Mexico Technology Council. We had a great team together that was for this. I'm going to need Ross's help up here. We had a great team, so I'm going to kind of acknowledge some of the team members, but basically, any of these enterprises, anything that really gives a lot of value back to the community, is a team effort. And Ross has been my partner we were the guys who put together the event that happened up in Santa Fe. We broadened the team when we brought it down to Albuquerque, and I think it's been really good. There's been some pivots along the way. Do you want to talk maybe a little bit about coaches? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody that came out. Thank you to the teams, the sponsors, volunteers, all our supporters. I think it's been a phenomenal weekend. I had the pleasure to be in Santa Fe when we first did this in New Mexico. This is our second one. I hope to see many more in New Mexico as we roll this out. I think a lot of us have seen the value of participating and supporting this activity, whether we're participants or coaches. And specifically, since I work with the coaches, I want to thank them. I think sometimes we may have been a little bit too much in the faces of the teams, but that's just because we wanted to help. So, sorry for that, but that's where we are. We want to see more entrepreneurs be successful in the state, and so we hope to return with the next Startup Weekend and assist you. So thanks again for our coaches that had marketing background, development background, business development, legal, and all the other areas. So again, thank you for coming out and supporting us. We hope to see you at the next Startup Weekend. Thank you.
I'd also like to, I'm going to talk a little bit about how this is going to work for the teams. You heard a little bit about the order, but now that we're in the room, you'll see how this is going to work, and it's going to take, expert timing and finesse and some dance moves, I think, in order to make this work. But having seen you in action, I think that's going to be totally fine. The way this is going to work is that the first team that comes up here, they're going to send somebody up to make sure that the projector is all set up, that they've got their laptop oriented. That means you're going to have to kind of make sure that whoever is your person who's setting up the laptop, that they're ready to go once the first team is done. So basically, when the first team is done with their main presentation, that's going to take 5 minutes. And after the first team's done with 5 minutes, we then have 3 minutes for judges' questions. So that's not a lot of time. We've got 7 excellent judges, and we'll hear a little bit more about the judges and their qualifications in a few minutes. But they're going to try and get some good answers. I think to all the teams, you want to be very, very short and targeted. You don't know something, you don't know it. Just make it quick or make it as pithy as you can, because we don't have a lot of time, and we want to make sure that you get the most value to the judges and also to your fellow participants. Once the presentation is done, you're moving over sort of off to the side to continue talking with the judges as they ask their questions. That's the time where the person who's been doing the projector for the first team, they pull off, and then somebody else swaps out. So as a team is ending, the next team needs to be getting ready to come over here and get their presentation online. You'll see that after the second or so, this will start getting smooth, but we just want to make sure you're prepared in order to launch that. Let's see. I would love to thank we had several great sponsors, so let me talk a little bit about them for right now. So Los Alamos National Labs, they were a sponsor both up in Santa Fe, and they were a sponsor here in Albuquerque, really stepped up. And we'll hear from Belinda Snyder, who is their representative and helped with the speakers and the judges. We'll hear from them later. And let's see, the city of Albuquerque, represented by Mr. John Garcia over here. The city of Albuquerque they've been chomping at the bit to do this event here from the first time where we mentioned, hey, we might do an event in Santa Fe. And they've been saying, yes, let's make this happen here. When can we make it happen? And we're just really glad to have great partners with the city of Albuquerque. In addition to that, Public Service Company of New Mexico. They're a company that just came in and said, hey, we heard about this. We would love to get involved, and we said something like, well, we don't have our sponsorship package ready yet, and thank you very much. But they really, they recognized the value of the kind of activity that we're doing, and they stepped up very early. Also, Leverage Legal Group, one of our judges, Jessica Eves Matthews, we'll be hearing a little bit more about her and from her a little bit later, but she was an early sponsor of their company, just like P&M. They said, hey, this looks like a really good thing. How can we support entrepreneurship in the state of New Mexico? They stepped up and they became a sponsor. And also the New Mexico Angels with John Chavez, another of our outstanding sponsors. We've got a few more sponsors to mention a little bit. However, we would love to turn this over to a little bit of an introduction to the judges. I believe that's you.
Oh my gosh.
It is at that time. So how about a round for all of our sponsors? And the Blue Snyder that I mentioned earlier. Thank you for your support.
Okay, so I actually didn't know I was supposed to introduce you guys. So, that's okay. And what's your name, sir?
I'm Randy Asselin. I'm the CEO and president of Rock Tops, and we make food trays and applications that connect, strengthen relationships between food brands and consumers.
And I just met him maybe a month ago.
Right.
Very awesome.
I'm Scott Maloney. I'm the Vice President of Strategy and Operations for AppPay, a mobile and web-based payment platform. It's revolutionizing how we do commerce on the web and via email, so we're having a lot of fun with it.
Just met him 5 days ago.
I'm Lisa Adkins, Director of the Bioscience Center. We're an incubator for startups in biotech. I'm also co-founder and investor in a company called Food Sentry. It's global food source monitoring.
I've known her forever.
And if folks can speak directly into the microphone, I think we're losing a little.
Hi, my name is Jared Tarbell. I'm an Albuquerque native and the co-founder of Etsy.com. And I am starting a new venture right across the street called the Levitated Toy Factory.
John Hawkins with P&M. I'm the manager of advanced technology and strategy, so I get to look at all the nice new shiny toys that are coming to the energy industry and see when they're business ready and good for our customers and good for us to invest in.
I am Jessica Eves Matthews, founder and CEO of Leverage Legal Group and Leverage a Lawyer. We're the first global virtual intellectual property and business law firm for the new economy. We do everything virtually and via flat fee for clients all over the country. We actually have attorneys in the US, Europe, and Asia.
My name is Travis Kellerman. I'm the Senior Vice President of Operations for Labu Incorporated, and we make a product called POS Labu. It's an iPad-based point-of-sale system for restaurants. We've been featured on the show Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay, and that's probably our biggest claim to fame.
So thank you very much, all the judges. There are 7 judges, and I was supposed to get 3 to 5, but again, just like the speakers, everybody I asked said yes to me, so thank you. And let's get started.
Did you guys have a good weekend? Yeah. Right on. 9 people did. Let's try that again. Did you guys have a good weekend? Yeah. There we go. Who built something this weekend in 54 hours? The same 9 people. So I just got a quick opening slide deck since I wasn't here Friday night. I wanted to include some of the things
Louder? Louder, I guess. How's this? Better. Okay. So,
So I want to thank all you guys for coming out for Startup Weekend Albuquerque. Just a quick backstory. I've known Eric for about, let's go 2 years. And so I've been trying to get Startup Weekend down here in New Mexico. So to be here in New Mexico, Albuquerque for Startup Weekend is kind of a big deal for me. I'm a facilitator with Startup Weekend. This is my 18th event, so I'm privileged to be here. So Startup Weekend is amazingly huge. To date, there have been just under 1,100 events, over 100,000 attendees, 478 cities in 110 countries, and there's over 2,000 global and local organizers. So what else is happening this weekend for Startup Weekend? San Diego, the 505 is what I refer to it as. Peru, New York, Portugal, Tunisia, and Kyrgyzstan. We want to thank our global sponsors. Without them, Startup Weekend wouldn't be possible. Cloudmine, Google.co, Domain.com, SendGrid, BizSpark, and the Kauffman Foundation. I want a loud applause for our local sponsors. Judges, we already met, so thank you. Thanks for coming in and giving us your time on a Sunday instead of spending it on an amazing, gorgeous, sunny day with your family and friends and margaritas and whatever else you might partake in. So judging criteria, customer validation. A lot of the teams went out there and talked and got feedback from customers. Looking at their business model, how well they executed, and how well the team formation was. We'll stop it there, and that's kind of the closing side. So, are you guys ready to hear the first pitch?
Yeah.
Awesome. So just to clarify with the presentations for the 9 teams, after team 1 is presenting, they got 5 minutes. After they're done, we're going to ask them to step off to the side. Team number 2, get ready because you're going to be on deck. So when they're talking to the judges answering questions, team 2 is going to be getting set up. Same thing, we're going to keep everything real fluid for the night. Do we have a volunteer that can display the time?
I got it.
All right, perfect.
Time everywhere,
You
good? Let's go. Hi, everybody. We are Shift Trade. I'm going to start, and this is going to be difficult, but I'm going to start with a confession. Or better yet, a fact. You guys like facts? Here's a fact. There's one presenter getting paid here today to be here. Now, that presenter, that person, is me. Now, you're asking yourself, who's paying me? The fact is, everybody in this room is paying me today. See, I'm a firefighter. And in order to be here today, I had to call off sick. But I'm still getting paid. Now, before you judge me, let me say this. That's just a scenario, it's not true. And secondly, a firefighter has 3 options to take off work. He's going to schedule vacation, he's going to arrange a trade, or he's going to pick up the phone and he's going to call off sick. Now, of those 3, which do you think is easiest? He's going to call off sick. So, the problem is this. $1.2 million. This is what the Albuquerque Fire Department spends every year in excess and above their allotted overtime budget. Okay? That equates to about 3,300 sick days per year. That's per year. The good news, and perhaps some redemption for me, is that we have a solution. That's the solution. ShiftTrade. So, ShiftTrade is an automated web application that facilitates dynamic staffing and shift trading for firefighters. About 700 in the city of Albuquerque. We talked about competition, and there's nothing direct. Generally, firefighters across the country, they're going to build static forums or bulletins to facilitate trading shifts. Okay? What you're looking at here, this beautiful work of art, is the actual product. It's been built. It's about a year old. We had about 300 organic users here in the city. I went door to door and signed up 300 firefighters, which represent about 43% of the 700 firefighters. Basically what you do is you log on, you trade shifts, and think about it like it's similar to a dating website where you find a match, you confirm the date and time, and then both parties are sent a notification. It's automated, it's simplified. Validation. The interesting thing is that the city self-validated. This was done through an internal audit in April 2011. The fire chief, sent out a memo in October 2010, and he asked the firefighters, and I'm going to quote him, "Please take advantage of available vacation slots and your ability to exchange shifts instead of using sick leave, because this is a problem." So we were asked as firefighters to help reduce the overtime spending under threat of closed stations, and a reduction of service.
With ShiftTrade, we can save the city of Albuquerque $1.2 million in unplanned overtime cost per year, which is what the fire chief was trying to accomplish back in October 2010. Our revenues would be based on a fixed structure per user per year plus a % of savings. Let's take, for example, the city of Albuquerque. 700 firefighters at $100 per firefighter, our annual license fee would be $70,000, plus 20% of the money we save the city. Note, the majority of our costs are fixed, while our potential for growth is exponential and multifaceted. We feel we can break even within 18 months and have our website up and running within 4 weeks. We've talked to the San Francisco, San Jose, and Birmingham, Alabama fire departments, who have all confirmed that they have an issue with overtime caused by excessive sick leave. We need an initial investment of $300,000. We aim to use this money to sign up the city of Albuquerque and 2 to 3 cities within the first 18 months.
And thank you, Catherine. So we're going to end it there. I really want to thank my team. I want to thank the coaches. We want to thank the judges. And I'm a little sick, so I think I better go lay down.
Who's presenting?
Right now, we're going to ask some questions of the teams when the second one gets set up. So right now, we're going to ask questions of the team that just presented.
I'll repeat the question. So if I understood correctly, your question was, can you shift trade between stations?
We have 3 minutes to do this, so this is kind of critical. You need to be quiet so the judges can ask the questions. They're going to answer the questions, and everyone over here needs to be just a little bit quieter. Thank you.
So I'll repeat it. The question was, can you trade shifts between stations? The answer is yes. The trades are based on qualification. So as long as 2 people of like qualification input for a trade, it's a match.
You mentioned that your costs were, the majority of them were fixed. I'd like to know how that was an operating business. What costs have you identified? Tell me what's included in that and how it's fixed.
The majority of our costs up front in year 1 are really going to be the server up and running. We're going to need a full-time web developer and patent fees. and then employees thereon after that. But there's not a lot of overhead. We could have an office, but you technically don't need a space. It's really getting the buy-in from the cities, and once the server's up and running, having people maintain the site with any questions or problems.
Are there costs associated with expanding to each of the new cities you plan to go to?
Yes, there would be costs associated. Most of them we consider with travel costs. We have built-in server costs over the years. The server would get bigger with time. But really travel costs and employee costs and selling it.
No, well, the model is built so that each city we deploy in, it's a 2-week deployment. So we're there in town to train the trainer. We want their HR guys, we want all of their scheduling people. So the thing is, we're battling against culture. So we're gonna teach these guys how to trade shifts. We're gonna teach them how to use the tool and to not defer to sick leave, reflexively.
If I understand your revenue model, it was $100 per user plus 20% of what you can save the city. And over time, how do you calculate that?
Public record. You go to any city, it's public record what their budget is, and if they're under or over that budget. The numbers we presented for Albuquerque are factual, and we're just basing it on what we think we can capture. We know sick leave will always exist because there's legitimate use. We all know we're not talking about that. So 20% is conservative, but we know we can save them money because we know what the problem is, excessive sick leave.
Thank you very much. That's the
Thank
time
you,
for
guys.
all the questions. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Should we just go?
I think we got more talks.
Hi, everybody. I hope you all had a really fantastic weekend. We are Democratic Fashion. We are an online fashion house. We see anybody as a potential designer. We provide the opportunity for international exposure and retail success. For our customers, we provide the opportunity to influence the trends of fashion design and the impact that the clothing industry has on our world. Where it is made, how it is made, and by whom. Democratic Fashion manages an online platform for fashion design submission. We run a biannual competition, taking the top 24 looks with the greatest number of votes. We send those patterns to our domestic sewing contractors to fabricate the designs. We produce a New York runway show to expose the new lines to worldwide retailers. We share a portion of our profits with those designers. We support community and family through domestic manufacture of our apparel, reducing our carbon footprint through the use of sustainable materials. We are breaking the barriers for both designers and customers to participate in the evolution of fashion. We are Democratic Fashion, and here is our story. I introduce to you one of our designers.
I'm just one of the people. However, I do believe that I have some great fashion ideas. I also believe that the world would love what it is that I have to show you. Even if I have only one idea, I can bypass all of the barriers of entering fashion by using democratic fashion. I can participate for free without having an expensive degree in design. If any of my garments get selected for manufacture, I get 5% of the proceeds and international recognition. All I have to do, I just log on, I design, I submit my work to the competition page, and then I go about getting others to log on through social media to vote for me. Sweet. So here is the retailer who recognized me.
As a retail business, why would I do business with Democratic Fashion? Democratic Fashion is a very short lead time. From the time I purchase to the time I receive my inventory. I enjoy reduced shipping costs due to domestic manufacturing. The styles are pre-vetted by consumers and in demand, which really reduces my risk factor of inactivity for fashions. I also get a nice PR boost by picking up this line, as I'm supporting an eco-friendly clothing that's made right here in America. I also receive the option of perusing the complete library of submitted designs and picking any unique styles I believe will sell well in my stores. I get to view the entire line at the New York Fashion Show. I simply place my volume order and give my deposit, knowing I will receive inventory in my stores in as short as 2 to 6 weeks. Let me introduce you to one of my customers.
Hi, I'm a customer, not necessarily a designer, but I do have a passion for fashion, and I would enjoy the ability to have some input on selections in the stores that I see locally. Democratic Fashion has a solution for that. As a registered user on their website, I'll gain real-time access to a forum where I can submit critiques and feedback on existing designs, things that are in process. After that, also